everybody, welcome to another episode of the GPRO Podcast with your host, Jun Ho, and now I have a very special guest next to me. It's Alan Tansley. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. This is really weird. Yeah.
I mean, never in our minds would we have thought a GPRO Podcast would be something that everyone wanted.
I mean, most people watching this are like, who is this guy? Like,
that's what the podcast is for. We're here to learn about you. But me and Alan, we've met a couple of times. You know.
Yeah, snookering.
When I was down in Bristol, I was having a bit of fun. But why don't you introduce yourself to everybody, just to let people know who you are?
I'm Alan Tansley, sometimes known as Anal Stanley. Used to be a GPRO player, vaguely active in the forums, and now I'm retired and log in about once a week.
Hey, it's still enough, once a week.
Yeah, it's one of those things you just like can't leave it alone. Like I need a hit of the blue website, just see what's going on. Yeah.
It's all about the blue. I spoke to Kerry about this as well when we did our podcast, and it's just difficult to try to leave GPRO.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, I mean, even though I don't have time to play, I still occasionally think about like, oh, why don't I just qualify for a couple of races and see what happens? But
that's literally what I've done. So we'll get into this afterwards, because there's a lot of stuff we'll talk about with you guys. First of all, your GPRO career. Firstly, so how did you find the game? Because everyone wants to know how people found the game. So I've always been into like F1 and motorsport in general and stuff, and management games and that ilk. Same story as like Kerry and all that. I was playing, I think it's called Footy Manager. Oh, okay,
It's like, it was like it was all right. You had to like buy and sell players, try and get the same colors and shapes and stuff. And I was playing that with my mate Andy Watson, who grew up and went to school with. So I think he found GPRO in the middle of like season 14 or something, sent me a message saying like, check this out. So I joined between season 14 and 15, rookie 152. I think I got a podium in my first race, and then after that, even before that, I was hooked. Because I started in the same group as the same time as Lee Harding. Now, was team leader of Jaguar through all of their championships and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you go back and look at the rookie 152 group forum before the first race of season 15, me and Lee are like chomping at the bit. But we literally cannot wait for this race to start. And it was like, and I think I joined a team before my first race even.
Yeah, so we'll get to the team in a minute. But obviously, on your first season, you promoted straight away to amateur. Had a little stint in amateur, moved back down, and then you had a nice smooth route to elite. So how did you find the game initially at the start then? Because obviously once you struggled a little bit in amateur, you then moved up to rookie, and then somehow you just blitzed through the whole team, the whole pyramid.
It definitely helped having a team. Like my first race, I'd already set up the car before joining the team, and it was just made sure the driver was happy and all that. And I literally did manage to 2-stop race and ended the race with 0 fuel. I was like, that's the only race it's ever happened. It was like the perfect strategy. And then so actually having a team to sort of tell me how to set up the car and that kind of stuff, because it's so complicated, man. There's so much that goes into it. That's why people keep coming back to the game, isn't it, really? I definitely would have struggled without a team.
So obviously the first team that you joined is the illustrious Golf Porsche Racing.
Yeah.
When I actually checked your team history, it's actually called Golf Plus Porsche Racing.
Golf Plus Porsche, yeah.
What was that about?
That was I don't know. That was my first act as team leader. Once I managed to get into that, or get rid of the plus. Yeah, it was set up by a guy called Mark Langner. And I sent them like this. I wanted to join a team, so I was like, I want a cool livery, basically.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's look for some like classic ones, and there was the martini one, but I was obviously never going to get into martini at that time. So I was like, oh yeah, a nice classic orange and blue golf racing livery. So I sent them this like 5-paragraph message saying, I'll try really hard. I'm going to be like, I'm so into this game stuff. Once I joined the team, I found out that they were literally looking for like warm bodies who could breathe. And so within like a season, pretty much everyone there had left, and I found myself as team leader. So first act, get rid of the plus.
Get rid of the plus.
Gone. Yeah, proper team.
So you don't know why the plus was there. It's just.
Yeah, no, just Americans. I don't know.
Oh, I thought it was like something that they, wanted to have, but.
Yeah, no, I don't, because it's obviously based off like the old Le Mans team from the 70s or 80s or whatever. I don't think they had a plus. So
yeah, I don't think any team that I can think of that has a plus in their name.
Yeah, maybe they should bring it back, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just for one season, Golf plus Porsche Racing. How about that? Yeah. But obviously, you've got them. So you got Golf Porsche Racing. You said obviously in the season everyone left. You became the team leader of it. Then you gradually built it to become what it is now, which is just a top 50 team, all that kind of stuff. So, kind of, did you ever think that the team would ever be that successful?
I mean, I didn't aim for that. I wanted a team that was basically the forum had like 2 posts a week when I joined, maybe, and I just wanted a team forum to be active. So first thing, I can't remember the order of things that happened, but getting Lee Harding to join, and he brought along his mate Martin Jones, that got a bit of conversation in the forums, and all the other people suddenly started going, oh yeah, there's a bit of activity now, so they joined in. Then got Andy Watson in, and he happened to work with a guy, Chris Brady, and they joined, and all of a sudden we just had this really active team. Getting into the top 50, it's kind of one of those things that like you can almost do it by accident, like just having a few guys in amateur and pro just all going for promotion at the same time. It doesn't mean you're the greatest team in the thing, but you could get into the top 20 like that. So we didn't really think of it in terms of being a successful team that way. I just wanted something active. Yeah,
that's fair. But obviously being in the top 50 consistently must be difficult to try to retain and stuff like that. I didn't know whether during your period, during your time in Golf Porsche, you were in the top 50 regularly. I haven't actually checked that, but
I think we were. We were. Yeah.
But obviously to do that, like you said, if you all go for a promotion season, then being top 50 once, in a blue moon is not, saying that you're a really good team, but to do it consistently throughout, your whole kind of team history, it's kind of. You got to say you're doing really good.
Yeah, I think it all just stemmed from that we were all really keen to learn. Like me and Lee were like so into the game at the time, and then Andy's a really good kind of analytical. He'd been in a previous team, so knew a bit more about the game than we did. I think it was Speed Devils or some terrible name like that. And yeah, it just like kind of we had like little forum games and stuff, and I would run an award ceremony at the end of every season and stuff, like write this ridiculous story about everyone turning up to this award ceremony and things. And it just, that kind of thing just keeps people motivated. And if you're, I don't know, we always seem to have like 3 people going for promotion in a season, and that's enough to like keep you at that kind of level. I mean, the fact that golf ended up winning a title is like, that's
that was only quite recently actually.
Miko sent me an email out of the blue, and I was just like, I got a bit emotional, I'll be honest.
It's your little baby finally winning a title.
Definitely. I am kind of like proud that it because that team could have just disappeared.
Yeah.
And it's like turned into one of like the proper legacy teams now. And he saying about like Martini that I thought about, I wanted to join early on, you know, that's gone, sadly.
Well, not gone yet. I mean, someone's still running it, but it's But you can't not include Golf Porsche in like one of the top 10 teams of all time. And as everyone knows, I'm running a GPRO Podcast Hall of Fame actually.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've only included 2 managers at a time, and then there'll be another 3 managers being inducted next podcast. But I would be including teams in there as well, and obviously, you know,
nice. Yeah.
Golf Porsche has to be one of the names to be at least be in the runnings to be inducted, you know, alongside the Tiger, really Jaguar. Cool, yeah. So, I mean, it'll be. It's just amazing just watching that team grow, because obviously I started middle of season 14, so I kind of saw it, you know, from the start to the end, and obviously I always included Golf Porsche, Ignition, Versan as like the greatest teams to never win a title. But obviously now you won a title, it's kind of you can't have that title anymore. But
kind of ruined it.
Exactly. But you know, it's just been amazing just to watch that kind of go from, you know, steady top 50 to, you know, top 30 to top 20s, and now top 10, and, you know, above that now, and actually winning a title. And it's just it's just great to see that. So what was your reasoning for leaving the team?
Man, I'd been in elite. I'd kind of like, I wasn't ever going to win elite. I wasn't that committed to the game. So I kind of was on the verge of getting bored with the game. Not having enough time to commit to it properly. And I wanted something like a shot in the arm just to like give me a boost of motivation. And the only thing I could think to do was to like, let's try a new team, see if that gives me the boost I need. So like Lee and Martin had already gone to Jaguar. So I figured, well, they asked me if I'd be up for giving it a go, and I thought, well, why not? Like, it might be the kick I need.
Fair. But it's just like, I'm just, because I always thought that you might have had like a falling out with Golf Porsche or something like that. Like, so everything was all okay. You just wanted to.
No, it was nothing like that. It was literally just like I was just going through the motions kind of thing, and also running the team. Not that I was like, you know, running people's careers and stuff, but doing all of the like running silly games and doing the award ceremonies at the end. It's like, it's quite tiring, because it's amazing how quickly 17 races comes around when you've got to write another like 1,000 words on how Milivoje Pomp has showed up in a Mercedes at the Golf factory, the Porsche factory, and he's offended all the bigwigs and stuff. It's that's quite difficult. So I kind of wanted, I was quite happy to be like the little guy in the big team for a little while. That was part of it, I guess.
Fair. Well, I'm actually quite happy to find the originator of the Golf Porsche storytellers, because I never knew who started it. Because obviously when Golf won their title, obviously Anya posted a story in the GPRO team discussion thread. So obviously she said it was a tradition that was
I'm glad that's
so I was like,
still going on.
Obviously I did kind of wonder who actually started it. It was actually Alan who started. It's pretty good.
I mean, I had so much time on my hands at work. Like that's one of the reasons I was very active in the game. My job was like I did like half an hour in the morning, got everything done, and then I honestly I was just like on the Blue website all day.
I swear there was like someone who played a game previously that said that Blue was banned. Like Blue was like banned from their work.
I mean, it was a bit of a nightmare until I got a desk which was backed against the wall. It's very like conspicuous.
I mean, luckily, like, because I work in sales now, so on my laptop I have a screen protector, so no one can see it. so I have GPRO on my like little laptop screen, and then I have my actual work on my monitor. So
I mean, the other thing to get away with it is I could always have like some sort of GPRO spreadsheet open, so I could always be like, I don't know, working on my driver training schedule or something like that.
Yeah, I when I'm running a couple of city games now, and yeah, I've got like loads of like Google Sheets on there. People think that I'm doing work, but I'm like, how do I condition format this number? Who knows how to do this, do that? But let's get into the city games for the time being. So how did you get into the city games? Like, what was the first one that you remember going into?
It might have been something like what was that one? Sheep. You had to like
sheep, yeah.
Answer the questions as uniquely as possible. I think that was possibly my first one, and I also played. Was sheep
a unique one? I thought it was trying to answer the common answers, right?
Was it? I can't. There was like sheep and reverse sheep, so I don't know. Yeah, and then Turg or TERG is that what Beagles likes to call it? I don't know. I won.
I call it TERG. So.
It's Turg for me. I was dead chuffed. I managed to win a season of that. Should have won another season, but put rain tires on or dry tires on in a wet race, and that screwed me over. I would have won 2 in a row for that. That's
what was your nickname that they gave you? Because obviously every winner.
Oh yeah,
has a nickname.
I can't remember.
I would search it, but it's going to take a while. So I'll just leave it. But so we've got TRG, you got Sheep. Obviously, you were a big staple there in the Mafia community in there.
For a while. Yeah.
Was Mafia? Did you first play Mafia in GPRO, or did you play it elsewhere beforehand?
Well, I played a couple of like live games. I forget what they called it. It was like very similar, but it only had like one killer in it. Basically, it wasn't like a team game or anything like that. Yeah. But yeah, my first proper Mafia was on GPRO, and I was absolutely shocking.
I mean, as everyone else, to be honest, yeah.
Yeah, I was scum on my first game, and you look at my first 3 posts, and it's like, yeah, vote that guy.
But so obviously, once you started your first game, you then played a lot more and then hosted a lot more. Kind of what intrigued you in Mafia that made you want to carry on playing it and hosting it?
I loved it because it's like a free space to be a bit of a what's your swearing policy on this podcast?
Just go for it, mate. Just go for it.
Yeah, it is like an open space where you can just be a bit of a twat.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know, it's a place where you can let your ego just go, and like you have to pretend you're the smartest person in that forum and just be like, no, you're an idiot, mate. Like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, it's just like I just love that bit. It's just like completely free in space, because the rest of the time I'm hiding how much of a twat I am.
Yeah.
So it's good to let it out.
Yeah. So what made you want to host Mafia games then? Because obviously you have to,
Yeah, I like doing like creative things. So it's like it's just fun trying to come up with like different roles that no one's thought of, and a stupid storyline for why someone has to climb a clock tower every night, and that kind of thing.
I mean, to be fair, like obviously since you've retired, I've hosted a few Mafia games.
Yeah, you're hosting loads now.
Yeah.
Probably better off, because when you played some of your reasoning.
I mean, I was literally the day one lynch policy. I was the just lynch game. Me and I'm done. I'm good. I think I was the first person. I think it was in Jeff. I think it was either your game or Jeff's game, Jeff Pumphrey, where I was the first person to be lynched twice in 2 days. I got listed day one as a town.
Yeah, I remember that. And then you replaced
someone in, and then I was scum. And then I got lynched day 2, and I was just like, great. That's the catalyst. I've never played that game
like Jeff
again. Yeah, that's amazing. But I mean, like I said, I'm hosting some Mafia games, and your storytelling was actually kind of inspiration to how I did my stories.
Oh, cool.
So I did I can't remember which one it was. I think Stack the Deck, and I did like a character development. So it's kind of like Gordon Ashford's kind of character dinner party, slashing kind of your clock tower story telling as well. So yeah, it was pretty good to try to kind of, like I said, get that creative flow, creative juice going.
Yeah, it's like so much of GPRO, like the forum games is like such a great outlet for just like you say, creativity and
But you're hosting a Mafia game relatively soon, right? So I saw
hopefully. I've only had a couple of people sign up so far. I've done another map, which you know how I love a map in a Mafia game. I was twinning your last game with Kirsty, and we instantly died. Standard.
Well, no, actually, I survived quite well. I think I remember I was holding a doll. You had a doll in one, and I for some reason I just kept holding it. I don't know why.
Yeah, I just presumed when I wrote. It's amazing. Like when you come up with these roles, I always think about like how I would play them, and almost like to a man, everyone plays it completely differently. Like no one does what I would have done with it. Like you hanging onto that doll. I can't remember what it did, but like I'm fairly sure my thing was like, oh shit, get rid of that doll. Like pass it to someone else.
Yeah, I just kept it. I don't know why I kept it.
I remember like I think was it Harsh? He had a role where he could like fly a hang glide around the map and like see what was going on. And when he landed, he found a bomb at his house and he just decided to leave it. I think it's something like that. And it just blew up and he was dead. It's like,
get rid of the bomb. It's like the bomb, Harsh, the bomb, go. Like when you play Mafia, like your logical brain just goes away and you're like, oh, there's something here. And I'll keep this one. It's crazy. But for everyone who's listening, if you do want to get into Mafia, obviously read a couple of games first, maybe play a small game, but Alan has a new game coming out, so I'll put a little link in the description so you can have a little look at it. Maybe put some interest in there. Maybe get some old people back. Like Harsh hasn't been playing for a while, so probably get him back in.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the last game I hosted was when Winkley came back for a game.
Oh,
that was
man,
yeah. So Winkley, if we can get him back again.
I mean, if he's listening, go ahead.
I'm sure he is.
I think I still have it on Facebook, so I might as well just send it.
Yeah, me too. Actually,
give him a little link. Be like, come back for this one. But obviously, City Games. You obviously had one more huge game that is still being played right now, and it is the PGA GPRO Golf Tour.
Yeah.
How did that idea come about for you? Because it's such a massive game now.
It wasn't my idea actually. It was Jeff Pumphrey came up with it. I think it was when one of the Ryder Cups was on, and he just came up with the idea of like, if we had a golf game, you could have like USA versus Europe or rest of the world or whatever, and it could be like one of the bigger games in like it'd be so easy to get people like cheering, even people cheering from the sidelines kind of thing, which it sort of did. But yeah, I and then me and Gordon Ashford kind of pitched a few ideas to each other, and it ended up being what it is now, where you've pick laps and try and get a good time on that lap kind of thing.
I mean,
I absolutely loved it in that game. Like, aside from just like the commentary and the rounds, I started getting into like doing fake BBC news articles about different players and stuff. That was my favorite bit.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, when am I ever going to be in this one? I'm never in this one.
I remember there was I photoshopped. Well, I did it in like MS Paint of Sherry Bowers on the front of Golf magazine.
Yeah,
and it was like
that one.
I kind of took pride in how terrible the photoshopping was. Because I was using MS Paint and tiny little GPRO profile pictures.
Yeah,
it was like, how terrible can I make this look? I'm sure one of them was just a square on a body.
I mean, those are the highlights. It's just seeing all that, come about and all that. But you've developed this game obviously with Jeff and then with Gordon, and then you kind of evolved it into what it is currently. But then obviously in between, you've also had this idea of including equipment for people as well.
Yeah, well, I just kind of thought like it needed something to give people a bit of control over the game, because it is, as much as you can like aim your race strategy at getting a good round in for the golf, not many people are doing that, because like obviously it's not a priority for most people. So it was something I could do at the start of the season, just to give people a feeling like they were controlling something, and it kind of randomized it a bit and gave some people more of a chance to stop David Mayer winning all the tournaments and stuff.
Yeah, that game was just to have such a simple kind of format of kind of basing your lap times over your fastest lap, and then using that to then do the birdies and eagles and bogeys and double bogeys, and then going through that. Yeah.
What was amazing about it was how close the first two Ryder Cups were. They literally came down to half point in each one of them. It was like, as a story writer, it was like it couldn't have turned out any better. It was like
exactly. Yeah. I mean, nowadays, obviously, the game's run by Alan Halford, absolutely amazing host.
Yeah, he's doing really well. Job, yeah. How he managed to work out how my spreadsheet worked, I'm not sure he even did. I think he might have made his own. But
I remember talking to Chu Kai-wen. He had a hand in helping the spreadsheet go as well. So, but props to him for kind of having that still running, and he's getting over like 40 players still, and for nowadays that's a huge amount of players. And obviously now he's including his teammates as well. So obviously he has Kyle Morris has actually created a spreadsheet. I don't know if you've seen this. He created a spreadsheet for people to enter their lap times in, and then and then it creates it into a format where Alan can then use it onto his spreadsheet, and then it'll calculate all the results.
I wish I'd had that, because it was a nightmare, to be honest. Yeah, but most of my working days were filling in people's scorecards.
Yeah, I mean nowadays it's literally like a 2-minute job for us to literally copy our whole race analysis, and then it picks out all the laps for you, and then all you got to manually do is to add the fastest laps in, and that's it. And then you just copy and paste that in there.
Cool.
In the thread, so that's really good. Will you ever join the game again? That's all we want to know. Will you ever come back to GPRO?
That is what the people want to know.
Exactly.
And that is what I'm here for. Well, I'm here to reveal that actually, no, probably not.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a temp space in Jaguar Racing. I mean, come on, they need someone.
Yeah, I'm sure they need someone like really uncommitted and lazy. He's probably going to do like 8 races a year.
It's more than 7.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, but so no chance of coming back on the game.
Nah, I remember how I was when I got to Elite. I was like living it. I was single, living alone, like, and that sounds sad, but I was like quite happy about it. Yeah. And I was literally like going to bed. Oh, my driver Jochen Sutil took him from rookie to Elite. I'd go to bed and think, is his OA going to be under the limit at the end of this? Like that kind of thing, like living it. I can't do that. I can't do that anymore.
You know the meme where there's a girl and then there's a man sleeping on the side, and then the girl's like, "What?"
He's thinking about other women.
Yeah,
and he's thinking about Jochen Sutil's.
Yeah. 19808. Is he okay? Is he all right? Is it good?
Yeah.
There is enough. Yeah.
Yeah. What's his salary going to be in 5 seasons' time?
Yeah.
As of today, nothing could surprise me anymore. If there's no hope for the innocent, then then what chance the rest of us? But now we know that innocence was lost long before the search team called it off. As the rabbit drives to Hollywood, she thinks of all the friends she's left, how every thought and every fear and every futile beat of sweat don't matter now, it won't matter once her new prescription takes effect, and she'll relax just like she said. Lesson learned, camouflage becomes a second skin, and what it looks like from the outside is barely half the narrative. A figure on the edge, don't do what he says, just face with perfect courage and defeat your shadow self. As the rabbit drives to Hollywood, she thinks of all the friends she's left, every thought and every fear and every futile beat of sweat don't matter, no it won't matter once her new prescription takes effect, and she'll relax just like she said. As the rabbit drives to Hollywood, she thinks of all the friends she's left, and she'll relax just like she said. Oh, she'll relax just like she said, and she'll relax just like she said, and she'll relax just like she.
All right, let's go away from GPRO. Let's talk about yourself. Your real life. So obviously, we know that you have an interest in snooker. But to everyone else, what other interests do you have? What other hobbies do you have?
My main one is golf. Like no, I not at the moment because of lockdowns and stuff. But yeah, if I don't get out and play golf twice a week, it's like that's a sad time for Alan.
How did your interest in golf come about? Was it because of a game, or was it way before?
No. I've been playing since I was about 10, I think.
Okay.
I used to watch it on TV back when it was on terrestrial channels when I was a kid, and yeah, just love from the first time I played it. On the second hole, I was probably like 4'8", and I hit this 6-iron for a grown up, and it somehow came out of the middle of the club, and I was like, yeah, this is
this is nice.
Yeah,
satisfying.
I try and explain it to people. It's like, when you just screw up a ball of paper and toss it into a bin without thinking about it, and it's like way over the other side of the room, and it goes in. As it's like arcing through the air, you're like, oh yeah, that's going to go. That is what golf is on a magnified scale.
Yeah, I've always wanted to try. I mean, like I've been dabbling in golf every now and then, but I haven't really properly played it. So I haven't had the full 18-hole run, and I haven't had that stuff.
It's the kind of thing you want to just like start on a driving range and just smash some balls and not think about it, kind of thing, and then go from there.
Yeah. I really want to get into golf, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, after the lockdown, we'll see if we can do stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's great for like, if you don't care what your score is, it's really good for like mental health and stuff. Like, just get out and be on grass, fresh air, that kind of thing. It's just, nothing beats it.
Sounds like a dream, to be honest, to me.
Yeah.
Who like, obviously you watch golf, so any favorite players of all time? Yeah.
I mean,
got a top 5?
Yeah, I mean, I root for McIlroy, but I was saying last night to him, he's playing it at the moment in a major, and rooting for Rory McIlroy is like watching England lose to Iceland on repeat. It's like he's got such an abundance of talent, but just refuses to use it. Just like, it's just so frustrating. Yeah. No, I like Rory. Used to be a big Sergio fan. Now he's won his major. He's sort of given up. He's just living his best life with his missus and stuff. I mean, whenever Tiger shows up, that's always exciting as well.
I mean, were you watching it when Tiger obviously came back and won the Masters in 2018?
Oh yeah, a couple of years ago. That was like, it's hard to explain how insane that was. Like, the amount of crap that he went through, not just all the hookers and stuff, but like the injuries and stuff. He's had like 5 knee operations and 4 back operations.
Yeah. And
he turns up and there's all these like young gun 20-year-olds who smash it 40 yards past him. It's like
still being
it's like
I remember watching Tiger's tournament when he hurt his back, smashing his club into a tree or something. And then obviously I thought that was the end of him. I thought he
was done. But like,
comes back and wins a proper major, mate. It's pretty much unheard of, to be honest, in other sports. So, but obviously another sport that you like is, like I said again and again, it's the snooker. Obviously, for people who don't know, I used to live in Bristol, and Alan lived in Bristol, well, near Bristol at the time, and we actually met twice. Once for, I think we met a couple of times for snooker. I don't know how many times we met for snooker, to be honest.
I think we just bumped into each other one time, didn't we?
Yeah, I was with my friend. I was with my friend who I worked with in the restaurant. We went up to Riley's.
Yeah, and I had to call you Ben. That was quite,
Yeah.
I was quite confused by that.
Everyone didn't know my English name. I don't know why you brought it out here, man. Yeah, but my English name.
Oh man, have I just outed you?
It's fine, don't worry about it. It's fine. My English name is Ben, for everyone who don't know. Funny story, my parents gave me a Chinese name, obviously. Didn't give me an English name, and then until my first year in school, my dad thought it would be, good to have an English name in English school. So they gave me the name Ben. I was running with Ben for the first year, and then after the second year, my parents gave up on that and just given, because obviously they gave the passport in, and they were like, "Oh yeah, his name is Jun on this one," so I had to put Jun on my register for the rest of the
Right.
rest of the years. So that's how I became.
I mean,
for 1 year.
Of all the Chinese names you've got, it's like not the hardest to pronounce.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of friends that has like NG. You got that's how you pronounce it, and you're just like what? Yeah. Snooker. We like I said, we met a couple of times to do that. How did you get into snooker then? Did you?
I don't know. We just like a mate of mine had a pool table in his garage, and we used to go around there like twice a week and have these little tournaments with all our mates and stuff. I honestly I've been into every single sport that was on the BBC in the 90s. That's how my sports tastes work.
Yeah.
Like test matches, I would have sat and watched cricket like all day, every day through the summer holidays and stuff. And then like snooker world championships, I used to be well into that every year. I'm not very good at snooker. I think I had my highest break. I had a break of 35 once, and it could have been in the 40s, but I went in off. So I was.
Right. Yeah. It's so nice being into that rhythm where you're like just potting balls. You're like, oh my god, the position is so good. And just kept
I think I had like 4 or 5 shots where I was like, oh, I know I'm in control of what the white ball's doing. This is insane.
And then you go in off, and you're like, okay, well, that's me gone again.
Yeah.
So you're into cricket as well, then, are you? Oh.
Yeah, I used to play a bit. I just.
Did you
like
still watch matches. It? Or?
No, it just takes too long. Like I'm not a 12-year-old sat around with 6 weeks off every year to sit and watch it. Sadly, I say that I don't have a job at the moment, so I probably could. But
I mean, do you not like follow it at all, like in any way, or like?
I'll keep an eye on it, but it's like it kind of lost its luster ever since kind of Kevin Peterson stopped playing. I was like,
well, you didn't watch the 2018 Ashes with Ben Stokes on the third test?
I heard it on. I was listening to it on the radio. I was up in Edinburgh for the Fringe Festival with my missus, and we were walking around Edinburgh, and she's like trying to talk to me, and I'm like, got my earphones in. That actually was great. The atmosphere, because I had it in my ears, like, and they cranked the volume up. The atmosphere at the end of that game was just like.
I remember watching that live, and then when Stuart Broad was out for a duck, I was like, I just turned the volume off. I was like, I'll just wait for a friend like a few minutes, and then half an hour later they're still batting. I was like, okay, I'll put it back on again, and then sixes and 4s and just Jack Leach's 1 not out. Greatest 1 not out in the world. But
when we played Snook, do you remember who won when we played? I can't remember at all.
Probably you, to be honest, because I was awful. I wasn't great. I mean, my form was my arm was like bent sideways. Like
I remember you complaining that you left your cue in Cambridge. Yeah, and that's
they threw my cue.
When you're playing at our level, that's a big deal.
Exactly. The tools, you must have your equipment. They threw my cue away when I came back down to Cambridge. They swapped all the lockers for new lockers, and for some reason they didn't keep my cue in the back. They just threw everything away, so my cue was gone.
Shocking.
But that was insane. But obviously, for people who might have heard, obviously another interest of yours is definitely music. And obviously you're part of a band called Cautioners.
I mean, loosely, yeah. We've not really been a band for the last sort of 5 or 6 years. Our drummer now lives in London. He works for Apple at their HQ and stuff. Like we occasionally send each other little like noodly riffs and stuff. That would be a good song, but it's never going to be a song. I do miss that. It's quite a special thing being in a band. Like you have this kind of when you're playing a show, you have this like weird camaraderie or something that's like you just don't get it with anything else. I really miss it.
Yeah. Have you never thought about maybe kind of doing it virtually, like like
Yeah,
possibly him
possibly.
like recording it?
It's not the same though. It's like I don't know. Having people in a crowd watching you is not going to be the same as doing like a Zoom call or something like that. It's like, and when I go to gigs now and stuff, it's kind of hard because I see people on stage doing something and you're like, oh yeah, I want to be up there. Well, and I definitely miss that side of it. I don't miss spending hours and hours and hours in the recording studio arguing over 3 decibels of a bass guitar or something like that. But
so the first time we ever met in Bristol was for your first ever live gig.
Yeah,
in the Louisiana.
Yeah, that band. Yeah, that was first Cautionary gig.
Yeah,
that was probably the best one.
Yeah, I haven't seen any other ones after that. I don't know how many you did after that.
Yeah, no, I think it was only one after that. Yeah, we were pretty lazy.
Yeah, did you say you were in another band as well, or was that the only one?
Yeah, terrible band years ago. Yeah, we didn't have a real drummer. We just had a guitarist who had a drum kit. Don't research that. That's not. Yeah.
Obviously, you had the well, I would say an album came. Was it an album that came out recently?
Yeah. Well, so that gig you went to was for our first EP.
Yeah.
Which just a handful of songs we put together, and then a year or so after that, we spent about a year and a half recording an album, and then once it was finished, we just never got around to releasing it. Oh. So that had been sat in the chamber for about 6 or 7 years, which is why it was released to almost zero fanfare.
I mean, I was still following your Facebook page, so obviously when it came out, I thought you guys were back together again and playing.
No, it was just like, to be honest, the reason we released it is because I didn't have a copy of it.
Oh, so okay.
We just needed it on Spotify so I could actually listen to it.
Yeah. Well, what other interests do you have then? Obviously, apart from music and
well, I'm surprised you haven't brought up the. You say I was living around Bristol when we met for Snooker. I was probably, what year would that have been? Oh no, I was. Yeah, that was just before the van.
Oh yes, I completely forgot about that, to be honest.
Yeah, you've not done your research, Jun. What's going on?
Oh, I mean, it's been a while. That's the whole point of this podcast. Meant to learn about each other. Yeah. Yes, you lived in a van for it wasn't a few years though. It was like
about 18 months. I lived in a van. I spent about 6 months doing it up. Bought this old Sprinter for $2,500 off this old geezer. He was like 80 years old, and he's only just finished his like disco DJ career.
Okay.
He was a lovely bloke. And then got this van, kitted it out. It had like proper. It had solar panels on the roof, Xbox TV, diesel heater, all hooked up to the fuel tank and stuff. It was like,
how was that life?
Living the dream. That was. Yeah. I got sick of paying rent. Basically, I had a job, but like didn't average pay kind of thing, and I was like, half of my money goes on rent and council tax and all that jazz. And it was like, if I was just dropped on the planet today, it was a computer game, what would you do to like minimize your outgoings, maximize your income, all that kind of thing? I was like, well, it's much easier to minimize your outgoings because I've probably the least ambitious person. Like my managers and my jobs found me so difficult to manage because I just didn't like. they were trying to motivate you with like promotions and money and stuff. So not interested in that. So yeah, I was just like, well, if I could stop paying rent, that'd be great. How can I do that? And I just thought, well, I thought about like caravans or like a barge.
Yeah.
But I was like, I could live in a van, just stick a mattress down, and it ended up being a bit grander than that. But yeah, it was.
Wow, nice. I mean, you were completely. I wouldn't say you're completely AWOL from Facebook because obviously we heard that you bought a van, redid it up, and I didn't hear from you for like a year and a bit. until you came
I
back.
mean, yeah, I mean, I still had internet. I just sort of gave up on Facebook at that time as well. But yeah, it was honestly, it was amazing. Just like park up at the side of the road. It looked like just any old beaten up white van. So nobody like batted an eyelid. There's like, I had one time where the police knocked on. I parked up outside a golf course because I was going to be playing there the next day. And the police knocked on the door like, "What are you doing here? Like, you can't just park here, it's private land." But then they saw inside that there was like a bed and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, are you sleeping here tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I knew you technically allowed to do it, but it was still a bit nerve wracking. I was like, "Oh, yeah." And they were like, "All right, just like, don't cause a mess or anything." But yeah, other than that, I mean, there's a few times I woke up one morning, like, came out into the cab in my pajamas, about to head to work, and I'd parked somewhere. There was like mums dropping off 5 and 6 year olds at school, and I was like, "This is a bad look." This,
it's in your pajamas, just
I will end up on a register if I.
Yeah, exactly. Drive off quick. And
just drive. Go.
Fair play. I mean, I would never have thought you would. Would you recommend it to anybody?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, it was so good. I didn't have a toilet, which was an issue for. Started seeing my current girlfriend at that time, and she stayed over a few times in the van, but was not a fan of the lack of a toilet.
Okay.
But I gonna get into some details here. I just, I was happy enough just to use an empty bottle, something like that, whereas obviously for the ladies it's a bit different. But most of the time I was like at the golf course most mornings, so I'd shower there or shower at work. And yeah, it's honestly, it was a liberating time, I'd say. Like, slept on the moors, slept on next to the River Severn. Like, every morning you wake up, you got a different view and stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, fair play. I completely forgot about that from you. It was well, when was it? It was like, because it was just when I moved back from Bristol to Cambridge. So it was like,
it would have been about 2013, 2014, maybe, somewhere around there.
Was it then? Because I was still in Bristol at that time. I thought it was like 2015.
Because I was in the flat with Luke until maybe end of 2013. I moved in, probably lived in it until about mid 2015. But yeah,
that's probably why it's gone from my memory, because it's like it's during my Bristol phase.
Well,
but any other stories, any other hobbies, or anything you want to talk about at all?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I want to say, like, this is really impressive what you're doing with the podcast. And it's crazy that it says something about the GPRO community that like people are up for this as well. Like,
yeah. I mean, there's a whole category on the GPRO Oscars about who they want to see next in the podcast, and I'm just like, I never expected it to be as kind of big as it was. Like, because the first episode was me and a guy called James Hitchin, who I met a couple of times.
Yeah.
We talk on WhatsApp all the time, every day, and just we're like really good friends. And the first episode was purely just us having a little chat, talking about the Premier League, talking about where he worked in Subway and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like a nice little friendly kind of friend chat. And then I had Beagles in the next episode, and that kind of popped everything off, and everyone wanted to.
Do you know who I'm going to put my vote in for? Who I want next?
Okay.
It's going to be a bit confusing for most people, or the the Johnny Come Latelys, but the old school crew will know. I want you to dig up Dylan Vandenberg.
Dylan, oh my god! You know what?
He's got some top-notch data, so you'll probably want to talk about that.
I don't have him on Facebook, but I see him messaging on another former player, Aaron Mullen. Yeah. So I've got Aaron on Facebook.
To be honest, he was quite cool. He was a bit of a weirdo, but we played like a few Forza games and stuff. with Lee Martin and a few guys. Like
I remember playing that with you guys as well.
Yeah, and like Michael Pollard and is it Michael Pollard?
Yeah, Michael Pollard,
yeah, and I was his teammate for one of the seasons in that, and I don't know if you know, he was like a semi-pro or like a young go-karter.
Yeah.
Like really good at driving. Like I kind of, because he's Dutch, and I wonder if he like ever like raced with like Max Verstappen or anything like that. But anyway, I was his teammate for one season, and he used to set up the car for me on Forza, and it was like, honestly, it was like he would find 3 seconds a lap for me just in the set, and I don't know how he did it. It was like genuinely impressive. And then we'd do a practice session before the races, and he'd show me the lines and stuff, and it's like, bloody hell, it was proper. So yeah, if you can get him on, I
would love to, but I have no, like, obviously apart from Facebook, I wouldn't know if it even has any interest.
Yeah, I'll put in a word for you.
Yeah, go for it, mate. As the former teammate that you are, you could put in a good word. But
I just thought of one thing I did want to mention, actually. I wanted to apologise to Will Irons, who was a Golf Porsche member. He doesn't play the game anymore, so he's not going to hear this, but I just want to get it off my chest. When I did that road trip across the States, which GPRO was really helpful for, actually, it was like got some really good ideas from like the community and stuff. I stayed at his house he lives in Minnesota, and he took me to a baseball game, which was the Rochester Honkers. What a name that is. They're like, he explained it to me as like, it's like college players playing on their off season. So this is the equivalent of like, I don't know, Sunday league football, and there was a crowd there of about 5,000 people. It was mental.
Jeez, right.
And he was like, oh, do you want to grab a snack or anything? I was like, yeah, what are you getting? He's like, well, I was going to get some cheese curds. And I was like, I've never had cheese curds. Get some cheese curds. That sounds right up my street. And I devoured, like, just hoovered these cheese curds up into me. I've never had them. I don't even know what they are. Like, and that night stayed over at his place, the middle of the night. Oh my God, I threw up something chronic in his toilet, and I don't know if you know, it was like I felt so bad. And then I don't think I made a mess. I don't think it smelled too bad, but
I thought it was much worse than that. I thought you did it and he just left the house.
It wasn't that, but I just wanted to apologize for eating too many cheese curds and throwing up in your bathroom.
I genuinely thought you were going to be like, yeah, so I threw up in his toilet. It was completely filled up. I couldn't flush it. Left the house.
It wasn't that bad.
See you later, boys.
I think I also feel bad because I don't know if we were supposed to be sharing these cheese curds, but I think he had like one, and I ate all the rest. So yeah, that was. This feels good to get it off, mate.
Will, if you're seeing this, there you go.
Yeah. Sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh, so
just shiver. Cheese curds. Expect some cheese curds being sent over to you in the next few days.
Yeah, thanks.
But it's been an absolute awesome pleasure to talk to you, man. It's been a while since we had a little chat, man. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I was meant to be in Bristol yesterday, but
I'm not in Bristol anymore. I'm in back in Dursley for a little while. But yeah. But yeah, this has been like absolutely amazing. I always hoped I'd be on a podcast, but I thought it might be like Mark Maron or like Adam Buxton.
It's even better, mate. It's the much better version.
This is even better than that.
But no, mate, I really do appreciate it, man. I've always been, highly, fond of you as mates.
I know you've always had a crush on me. That's
Brian Blessed, man. I had a crush on Brian Blessed. Saw you, and I was like,
Gordon's alive. There you go.
There you go. But no, I completely forgot. We actually did an interview in 2012 or 2013 in GPRO, but like in like
the old like elite press or whatever it was, or
you had your own separate threads, to be honest.
It's amazing how many like news things and stuff comes up on GPRO. Like there used to be a YouTube channel that was just like weekly news in Elite and stuff. It's like
Yes,
it's
that
mad
was
how
that was Riley Morel.
yeah
Who did that? Yeah, he's actually
that was
he's actually married and having a kid now.
oh cool.
So yeah,
Wow.
little fact for you guys. but yeah, it's mate. I mean, like the old school like forum was like popping off. Like nowadays, you can see like the whole day's worth of posts in one kind of page.
Yeah.
But like before, like you have to like refresh it every 2 hours, and you have like another like 20 threads.
It was
to
a
read
full-time
through.
job. Yeah.
It was, but I mean, hopefully, I would like to see the forums back to where it was before. You know, more interaction, kind of more.
Yeah, I'm
people
sure. Like
talking.
I'm sure it'll come. People will come out of their shells, and you'll get like new characters and stuff. Like doing this, if you do like more podcasts like you did last week, was it Sarah?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing's only going to help because like then you're kind of introducing people as well.
Yeah, I mean, thanks to be fair, I want to thank Sarah as well because she posted it on her Twitter and got a few more views on that, and she's now advertising the game through her Twitter using obviously her
cool.
link, and hopefully get more people into the game. So that's what I really want from these podcasts, is to hopefully get more people into it, maybe get returning players back. Obviously, I failed on you, but hopefully get more people on other stuff.
I'll tell you what, I'll do one race for you.
Yes, thank you. But also, this is actually going to be the first one to be posted on the official GPRO Facebook page. So Alan has the rare privilege of that. So obviously follow the Facebook page if you haven't, the official GPRO Facebook page. And yeah, like I said, Alan, it's been absolutely amazing talking to you, man. It's been really good.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's been a blast.
It's really a pleasure. And obviously, thank you guys for listening. Obviously, the next episode would be the inaugural inductions of the 3 GPRO Podcast Hall of Famers. So be sure to check that out. The link for voting will still be in the description and in the thread as well. So if you want to go vote for that, by all means, go vote. But cheers, Alan, and thank you guys for listening. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.